Fulbert the Fearful,
Famous.
1014 to 1097. Famous for being so cowardly he never ventured out of his house. Died when a defensive charm backfired and the roof fell. Ethelred the Ever-Ready. Medieval, dates unknown. Famous for taking offense at nothing and cursing innocent bystanders. Died in jail.
ธรรมดา
Oswald Crispin Cronk, 1795 to 1872. Sent to Azkaban for continuing to keep sphinxes in his back garden despite repeated warnings.
ถึงว่ามันอร่อย
Edgar Struve, 1703 to 1798. Inventor of the sneaker skirt. Oswald Beamish, 1850 to 1932. Pioneer of goblin rights. Oswald Beamish, 1850 to 1930. Norval Twonk, 1888 to 1957. Died saving a Muggle child from a runaway manticore. Posthumously awarded the Order of Merlin, first class.
Wow.
Grogan Stump, 1770 to 1884. Popular Minister for Magic, appointed 1811. Glanmore Peaks, 16... Wilfred Elphick, 1112 to 1199. First wizard to be gored by an African erumpent. Professor Amando Dickett, former headmaster of Hogwarts, circa 1940.
ปากกระกลมเหมือนปลาหมึกเลยการกลม
Professor Amando
เกน
Dickett,
มาสเตอร์
former headmaster
อ๋อ
of
อันนี้เคยได้ยิน
circa
อร่อยอ่ะ
1940.
เนาะ
Mungo Bonham, 1560 to 1659. Famous wizard healer. Founded St. Mungo's Hospital for Magical Maladies and Injuries.
ฉันรู้สึกว่ามันอินสไปร์ดี
Zhu Yen, 4th century BC. Chinese alchemist. Falco Isolde, ancient Greek.
พันเทน
The first recorded example of an animagus who can transform himself into a falcon. Falco Isolde, ancient Greek. The first recorded
Animagus.
example of an animagus he could transform himself into a
Falcon.
falcon. Thaddeus Thurkel, 1632 to 1692. Famous for producing 7 squib sons and turning them all into hedgehogs in disgust.
มันปวดแก้ว
Harry
นะ
Potter, the boy who lived.
Who cares
Beatrix Bloxham, 1794 to 1810. Author of The Toadstool Tales, a series of children's books since banned because they have been found to cause nausea and vomiting. Dymphna Firmage, 1612 to 1698. Famously abducted by pixies while on holiday in Cornwall and lived in mortal dread of them thereafter. Failed to persuade the Ministry of Magic to have all pixies humanely destroyed. Honoria Nutcombe, 1665 to 1743. Founded the Society for the Reformation of Hags.
หา
Gwendolyn the Weird.
อันนี้ชอบโดนเผาปะ
Medieval, dates unknown.
Enjoy being
Alleged to have
burned
enjoyed being burnt at the stake so much that she allowed herself to be captured 47 times in various disguises. Jacunda Sykes, 1915 to the present. Famous for flying across the Atlantic on a broomstick. The first person to do so.
เหมือนเนี่ยเอมิลี่แอร์ฮาร์ดอะไรประมาณ
โอ้
นี้
Carlotta
อันนี้หัว
Pinkstone,
ข้อเดิมนะ
1922 to the present. Famous campaigner for lifting the International Confederation of Wizards Statute of Secrecy and telling Muggles that wizards still exist. Ms. Pinkstone has been imprisoned several times for her blatant and deliberate use of magic in public places. Dorcas Wellbeloved,
มาก
1812 to 1904. Founder of the Society for Distressed Witches.
Distress Witches คืออะไร
Elfrida Clag, 1612 to 1687. Chieftainess of Warlock's Council. Sasharissa Tugwood, 1874 to 1966. Pioneer of beautifying potions. Discovered pimple-curing properties of bubotuber pus.
very good
Ignatia Wildsmith, 1227 to 1320. The witch
powder.
who invented flu powder.
มันใช้ภาพมันใช้การเดิมๆหรือเปล่า
Hesper Starkey,
มันควรจะเป็นอย่างนั้นนะ
1881 to 1973.
ใช่ใช่ใช่
Witch who studied the use of phases of the moon in potion making.
using the phase of moon in potion making wow
Cleodne, medieval, dates unknown. Irish druidess who discovered properties of moon dew.
moon dew
Mirabella
Sad.
Plunkett, 1839 to unknown date. Famous for falling in love with a merman in Loch Lomond while on holiday. When her parents forbade her to marry him, she transfigured herself into a haddock and was never seen again. Morgan Le Fay, medieval, dates unknown. King Arthur's
Medieval.
half-sister, dark sorceress, enemy of Merlin.
เพราะ medieval and medieval
Morgan Le Fay, medieval, dates
medieval.
unknown. Gunhilda of Gorsmore,
โอ้กันจริง
1556 to 1639. One-eyed, humpbacked witch, famous for developing a cure for dragonpox.
ผู้หญิงเหรอ
ตอน the same อันนี้คือ witches เป็นผู้หญิงไงอันนี้คือ wizard อันนี้คือ witches
อ๋อโอเค
แยกเพศ
อันนี้
พวก
Jocelyn
British
Woodcock, 1911 to the present. Chaser for Puddlemere United Quidditch team. Record for highest number of goals during British season this century against Ballycastle Bats, 1931.
เขามีกีฬาอันเดียว
Gwennog Jones, 1968 to the present. Captain and beater of only all-female national Quidditch team, the Holyhead Harpies. Cyprian Udall, 1312 to 1357. Only Quidditch referee ever to be killed during a match. The originator of the curse was never caught, but believed to have been a member of the crowd. Roderick Plumpton, 1889 to 1987. Seeker for England Quidditch team. Holds British record for fastest capture of snitch during game, 3.5 seconds.
แฮร์รี่
แบบเข้าเกมไป
Bowman Wright, 1492 to 1560.
Oh.
Famous for developing the golden snitch.
คือเหมือนอะไรนะเขาเรียกว่าพวกพัฒนาใช่ไหม
อันต่อไปอ๋อต้องถอด
Sir Herbert
ขอ
Varney,
ดู
1858 to 1889. Short-lived, by undead standards, Victorian vampire who preyed upon women in London during the 1880s, was subsequently captured and killed by a special squad from the Department for the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures.
ในเรื่องเหม็นมีแวมไพร์เลยเนาะ
เกิดอ่ะ
Amarillo Lestote, 1776 to 1977. Flamboyant American vampire, author of A Vampire's Monologue, intended to bore the reader into a stupor, making him or her easier prey for vampires. Lady Carmilla Sanguina, 1561 to 1757, bathed in the blood of her victims to retain her youthful
เกิ
beauty.
ดเบอร์ทางนั้นเหรอ
Lodwin Blood, 1923 to unknown. Known as the Vampire from the Valleys. Famous for singing to his victims in a sonorous bass baritone before biting their necks. Count Vlad Dracul,
อันนี้แหละที่หาไม่เจอ
1392 unknown. Notorious vampire who inspired the fictional Count Dracula created by Bram Stoker, father of Vlad the Impaler.
โค้งต่อไปเป็น
famous goblin cards
Eargit the Ugly, goblin representative at 14th century summit of Wizards' Council. Allguff the Awful, foul-smelling goblin nuisance, well known throughout the goblin world for trying to sell phials of his sweat to a dung bomb manufacturer. Ugg the Unreliable,
มีแบบ
notorious
ฉายา
goblin confidence
ไม่มีใครดี
trickster, organized the infamous Demiguise Derby and absconded with the takings. Urg the Unclean, rebel leader in the 18th century Goblin rebellions.
นี่เหรอสิ่งที่เราสะสมกัน
Gringotts,
มา
founder of Gringotts Wizard
โอ้
Bank.
คนนี้
ดู
ยัง
ใน
มีชีวิตอยู่ใช่ไหม
ดูในทุน
อัน
มา
เดียวกันมันไม่ได้เขียนมันมี
ใช่
ชีวิต
ใช่
พวกนี้มันไม่มีตายเลยเหรอหรือว่าอายุมันเยอะมาก
นี่สิมีป้าเมียไหนตายปะ
ไม่มีบอก
Gringott,
คือทำไมไม่มีบอกงู
นี่คือเดี๋ยวนะ famous hacks card
รู้สึกแย่เลยอะได้อยู่การคนเนี่ย
medieval, dates
ปลา
unknown.
ปลาใหญ่
Russian hag who dwelled in a hut that stood on giant chicken legs, ate children for breakfast, and presumably for lunch and tea. Malodora Grimm, medieval, dates unknown. Using a beautification potion to conceal her true hag form, she married a king and used a charmed mirror to reinforce her self-image, became jealous of the most beautiful girl in the land, and fed her a poisoned
อ้าว
apple.
โอเค
โอเค
Laetitia Somnolens.
ยาว
Medieval, dates unknown. This spiteful hag was jealous of the king's daughter and caused her to prick her finger on a spindle tainted with a draught of the living death. A young wizard who had smeared his lips with Wiggenweld potion kissed the princess and brought her out of her trance. Old Mother Hubbard. Medieval, dates unknown. Lured stray animals into her home and starved them to death.
เฮีย
Cordelia Misericordia, 1298 to 1401. Hag representative at 14th century summit of Wizards' Council.
ขออายุยาวเนี่ย
famous giant cards
Bran the Bloodthirsty. Medieval,
Me
dates
Thailand.
unknown. Lived in a castle on top of an enchanted beanstalk. Apparently fond of eating bread made with ground bones and washed down with the blood of an Englishman. Was slain by a boy named Jack. Cyclops,
Jack
ancient
Fire.
Greece, dates
ตาเดียว
unknown. A one-eyed giant who lived in a cave at the foot of Mount Etna. With the help of several sheep, was slain by the Greek hero Odysseus.
อ๋อมันเอาเรื่องจริงมาพูดเนี่ย
มันก็ไม่ใช่เรื่องจริง
ไม่หมายว่าไอ้ที่เป็นแบบนั้นจริง
Goliath.
ใช่
Biblical, dates unknown. Mercenary giant used by the Philistines in their war with the Israelites. Was slain by a young boy with a slingshot. Morholt. Ancient Celtic, dates unknown. Gigantic brother of the King of Ireland. Wounded Tristan, the Celtic hero, with a poisoned sword when the latter tried to kill him. Hengist of Upper Barnton. 15th century giant killed by the famous giant slayer Gifford Ollerton.
ทำไมต้องโดนสเลนหมดเลยวะ
เป็นสิ่งที่ไม่ดีอย่างนี้หรอ
แบบแต่ต้องฆ่าเลยเหรอ
เข้าใจคือแบบ
Common
ไม่อยากให้
Welsh
มี
green
ความรัก
dragon.
โอ้
The breed is
Well-
amongst the least troublesome of dragons and actively avoids humans unless provoked. Fire is issued in thin jets.
อันนี้ที่มันอ๋อ
Hebridean black dragon. Britain's other native dragon is more aggressive than its Welsh counterpart and feeds mostly on deer, though it has been known to carry off large dogs. Hungarian horntail dragon. Supposedly the most dangerous of all dragon
Harry
breeds,
ba?
the Hungarian horntail can breathe fire up to 50 feet.
ต้องมีอันที่เป็นจีน
Romanian
นะ
longhorn dragon. The horns of this breed of dragon are highly valued as potion ingredients, and as a result,
Ben
its
Sa.
numbers have fallen in recent years. Norwegian ridgeback
Ni ba?
dragon. The ridgeback is nowadays one of the rarer dragon breeds and has been known to attack most kinds of large land mammal.
โนเวย์หลังอ่าน
ไม่เห็นมีอันที่เป็น Chinese ball something เลยจำได้
โอ้ภาษามีสะโพก
Imp.
เกลียดมาก
Found only in Britain and Ireland, the imp has a slapstick sense of humour and will amuse itself by pushing and tripping the unwary. Doxy. Sometimes mistaken for a fairy, nests in bushes and, if approached, will attempt to bite with its double rows of sharp, venomous
ยัน
teeth.
บอกมีจริง
Bowtruckle. A tree guardian,
อ๋อไอตัวที่
adept at dodging
เขวี้ยง
most
ใส่
kinds of charms, may attempt to gouge out your eyes if you approach its tree home in a threatening manner.
หลอนเกิน
โอ้กลัวจัง
Billywig has a long, thin sting that causes giddiness followed by levitation.
สยอง
Dried
มาก
billywig stings are used in a variety of potions. Gnome. A common garden pest, the gnome lurks in holes in the ground and may run out and attempt to trip up the unwary traveller. Can be ejected from the garden by swinging it in circles and flinging it over the garden wall.
โอ้ยเราอยากดูปีเตอร์แบบนี้
Godric Gryffindor. Medieval.
Gang.
Dates unknown. Co-founder of Hogwarts. Gave his name to one of the 4 Hogwarts houses. Rowena Ravenclaw. Medieval. Dates unknown.
อยู่ในภาคสุดท้าย
Co-founder of Hogwarts. Gave her name to one of the 4 Hogwarts houses.
โอเคให้ข้อมูลแบบนี้นะ
Helga Hufflepuff. Medieval.
ไม่ต้อง
Dates
ฟังแล้ว
unknown. Salazar Slytherin. Medieval. Dumbledore. Headmaster of Hogwarts.
Hey done
หมดแล้วเหรอ
done the game yeah you wanna
เดี๋ยวก่อน
see
นะ
what
โอเคดันเดอะเกมนี่คือต้องเดินไปเหรอ
เดินไปหาอีดัมเบิลดอร์ครับอีมาการ์เกล